Hello, everyone, and welcome to Orange University. Here's our long-awaited Lord of the Ring bundle booster box opening. So Amazon finally got around to bringing my box, or my bundle. It's been forever since I had a box opening because, well, prices are up. I don't want to spend $400 on a collector box. And what we have here is a bundle for, where is the title? I guess it's only in the front. Lord of the Rings, Tale of Middle-earth. Now, these bundles don't come with the promise of the One Ring, the what is that called? The serialized One Ring. It does come with just the ring itself. I think that's a promo card, so we do get that One Ring, but it doesn't come with any serialized cards, I believe, because they're only set boosters. But I don't care about serialized cards as much as I care about the rest of the cards themselves. And what I really like about a lot of these pack openings are these fresh new cards that brings more fun to the current play of Magic. That's what I like about opening cards. I don't really care about remaster sets. If I want remaster cards, I'll just buy singles. What I really do like are the new cards. I found that out in the past year or so playing, and these are really cool arts. Does take us back to Middle Earth, and give us some feeling about the old days of really just the idea of Magic itself, right? So Magic was, I think, inspired by Lord of the Rings, not the movie, but the story, the books, and all the tales itself, and also by Dungeons and Dragons. So it's really fun to see that Dungeons and Dragons and Lord of the Rings has made it to Magic the Gathering. Of course, there are some contentions about what is going on with Magic the Gathering recently and with what they're giving us. What do we have? I think that's Frodo, right? I don't know if we have. These are all basic lands, so that's nothing. We got a die. These are really cool looking die. Look at that. It's a spin down, so you can't really use this in any die rolling for fairness sake. I think there's some odds difference. I don't know why people think a D20 has a better odds or has a better accuracy of odds than a spin down, because each die are the same size. They're all the same surface. I don't know, some statistics things I don't really care about, but these spin down dies are super duper cool. And now this pack, which I believe is not just lands, let's see what's actually in there, does come with our promo card. So our promo card, Frodo Sauron's Bane. We got the 1 mana white into a 1/2, a legendary creature, halfling citizen. And then, we can pay 2 black or white, or is off color. If Frodo Sauron's Bane is a citizen, it becomes a halfling scout with base power 2/3. So you pay 2 mana to turn into 2/3, and you can pay 3 mana, but only black, if Frodo is already a scout. So basically, the evolved mechanic, sort of. It becomes a halfling rogue with whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player. That player loses the game if the ring has tempted you 4 more times. Otherwise, the ring tempts you. So pretty cool effects. I think this is the first reveal cards in Lord of the Rings, but honestly, just your opponent lose the game. That's a really, really cool mechanic that a lot of people I think enjoys. Not if you're on the receiving end, obviously, but it's cool nevertheless. And then we also got Samwise Gamgee, or actually no, this is just Samwise the Stout-Hearted Flash. This is the card that I got on Arena like a million times. Pulled on me in those draft games. Whenever Samwise enters the battlefield, choose up to 1 target permanent card put in the graveyard that was put there this turn and return it to your hand. Then the ring tempts you. So both of those are foil, and I think Gollum's not foil. It doesn't look foil. Oh, maybe it is. It's just a bad foiling. His eyes are foil. Gollum, Patient Plotter. This is the when leaves the battlefield, the ring tempts you. Okay, so this is just a tempting dude. It's uncommon. It doesn't matter. Oh, we do get the 1 ring. So yeah, we do get the 1 ring. Borderless, fancy, schmancy, foiling, all of that. And we got a Golem. I didn't read the Golem effect because I don't really think it matters too much, but the 1 ring effect is insane. They made too good of a card. This card is way too good. Indestructible, 4 mana artifact. Whenever it enters the battlefield, if you cast it, you gain protection from everything until your next turn. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life for each burden counter on it, which it doesn't come in with any burden counter, so you're fine. But you can tap to put a burden counter on the 1 ring, then draw a card for each burden counter. I've won so many games because I drafted a ring. And that draft of the ring just got me every game that I play because this card is insanely good. And you might think, hey, you take a lot of life, but imagine you play a Phyrexian Arena. You take 1 life, draw 1 card. Everybody's okay with that. Now, if you have 2 Phyrexian Arena on board, you take 2 life and you draw 2 cards. You're probably okay with that too. And that's 2 Phyrexian Arena in 1 spell if you just want to tap it next turn, right? Even in addition to all of that, you also gain protection from everything so that they can't really, rush you down or anything. So this card is insanely good. And of course, then we got a bunch of lands. No one cares about these lands. They're cool art, but they're not the full art lands, so I guess people don't care either. Cool art, nevertheless. They always look at the artists. I can't read like this. Thomas Hans. Are they all Thomas Hans? Thomas Hans. Shaharab. Aliz. I don't know. I'm going to butcher all these people's names. I'm sorry. I don't know these people's names, but always thank the artists because they do a very good job. When it comes to a lot of hate in Magic the Gathering nowadays, I understand that, but always thank the artists because the artists do best job on Wizard. Everybody else on Wizard, we can argue whether or not they're doing a good job, but artists, they do a fantastic job. Now, let's look at the cards. I'm not going to talk about which art goes where. That's a different issue, right? But artists, there are some of the arts are awesome, fantastic. We got a bird. We got the eagles people always complain about in Lord of the Rings. All right, so I'm gonna go to the side, and then we got a forest. We got a Pelegrin Survivor. We got a wuss. We got a wuss Pathfinder. We got a Protector of Gondor. I mean, a bunch of commons and uncommons people I don't think care too much about. And then we got the Borderless Quick Beam. I don't know why it's so hard to focus. Too many colors. Quick Beam, Upstart Ents. Still uncommon. Pippin's Bravery. Sacred Food. All right, so we got a Nazgul. First pack Nazgul. This card is like $700. I'm just kidding. I don't know how much it is, but it is an uncommon card that's worth a lot of money. Because you can have 9 in your deck and they pump each other, and then they got, the ring tempting you and all that. Pretty cool card. I'm gonna put that on a corner here as a special uncommon. And then we got, all right, these are common cards people don't care about. We got Mines of Moria. This is actually one of the cooler untapped lands in the set because, it comes to play on top if you control a legendary creature, which if you play EDH, you always are gonna. And then exile 3 cards from your graveyard to create 2 treasure tokens. So a lot of times, cards in your graveyard are worthless. A lot of times, if you're playing Graveyard Synergy, it's obviously different. But most red decks, you're going to have a lot of useless cards in your graveyard, lands that you pitched, cards that are just for, impulse draws and things like that. Those you don't need, make them into treasures. This is great. And then we got our foil. The Dunlin Crimblin. I don't know. It's just a foil rare. Foil common. No one cares about, so it's going to go in a corner. Go in a sack corner, and then we got an Orc Army. On the back, learn to play Magic. I wonder what that is. Does that just download Arena for you? Because you don't want to learn to play Magic on Arena. It's not friendly to beginners there for sure. And I play Arena every day, so I know. Everyone just net decks and plays the same deck over and over. All right, and then we got this dude. I don't know who that is. Grima, Sauron's Footman. Okay, that's who that is. All right, we got Forest, 4R Fullers. People really were really hyped before the set came out about this Forest. I don't know what's going on now, but it's something, right? It's a 4R Forest, not foil or anything. Bunch of commons. Saruman the White. Still, I think that's just an uncommon, right? Grimshnar, Gond. I'm going to butcher all these names. Goblin. No one really cares. Oh, we also get these story frame. I don't know what they're called. Super crazy ring frame. Gandalf, friend of the Shire. Cool. He's a friend of the Shire. I'm not a friend of the Focus, I guess. Too many faces. Is it because of Gandalf's face? I'm going to assume it's because of Gandalf's face that's not being able to focus. A lot better. I don't know. It's really hard to set the focus on these cameras. All right, Friend of the Shire, you may cast sorcery spells as though they had flash. Pretty cool. And when the ring tempt you, if you choose a creature other than Gandalf, Friend of the Shire, as your ring bearer, draw a card. This is the problem I have with Lord of the Rings set, though. There are too many of the same names. There's like 5,000 Gandalf cards and 5,000 Frodo cards. And when they refer to Gandalf, I don't know which Gandalf they're referring to a lot of times when I'm reading. And I think, do they just mean every Gandalf or just this one card? And obviously, most of the cards only refer to themselves, but a lot of times that's what I find confusing about it. It's just uncommon though. It's uncommon. All right, we got Samwise Gamgee. This is the card that I was alluding to. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, you get a food. And then sacrifice 3 food, return target historic card from your graveyard to your hand. This is an insanely good ability because it's just sack. It doesn't cost anything, it's just sack. And getting food isn't really that hard, not just in Lord of the Rings, but in almost every set. And then return historic cards. Historic cards, not just artifacts. Historic cards are artifacts, legendaries, and sagas. Basically, every card that you like to play in I was gonna say arena, but that would be entirely wrong. You like to play EDH, probably gonna synergize with Samwise. And then we got the Bill Fernie, Bree Swindler, but it's just uncommon. Who cares? Go over there now. Phyrexian Crusader. All right, this print job is horrendous. This looks like I did it on a HP printer that is out of ink or something. All right, look at that print job. It's just so discombobulated. I mean, I'm bothered by it, but this is a cool card. And nevertheless, right? First strike, protection from red, protection from white, infect, 3 mana, 2/2. Good old days. Besiege for Maraudon Besiege. I think that's a set, but it's a cool set nevertheless. All right, we gotta open another face down Gandalf pack here. That's our first the list card out of 8 packs. I don't know how many we're gonna get. This is I don't know who that is. Again, I mean, they took the liberties of all of these people's faces, so it's really hard to tell who that is now. Owen, okay. Planes. I'm gonna stop talking and just go through the rest. We got the Battle Scar Goblin. Don't care. Nothing really cool in the commons, in my opinion. Obviously, a lot of people who know the lores a lot better are excited about their favorite part of the book showing up as a card, but for me, I just like Magic. I want to see cool Magic cards, and I don't know how many of these without the lore are that cool of a card. Prince Imra of the Fair. Why is it still blurring? All right, whenever you draw your second spell created, this is just a half of a Council of 4. Got the same card? No, this is Faramir, of course. This is the rare. At the beginning of your end step, choose an opponent at the beginning of that player's next end step. You draw a card if they didn't attack you. Otherwise, you create 3/1/1 white. Soldiers, human soldiers. Creature token. I don't know. It's basically incentivizing your opponent to attack you, which, I mean, you can do that, but that's not a good strategy to play with. And then we got Rally the Horn. And then we got a food token. In the back, it says Secret Lair. Don't buy it because it's a waste of money. All right, cool. That is another pack. So now we get some dude. All right, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's Gimli, but hey, it's not really that clear just because it's a dwarf. So some dude. Swamp. And then we got Pelagris Survivor. All right, you survived that. You keep surviving this. I feel like I've seen this pack already. Shire Sheriff. Sure. This card is not good or anything, but it was insane in what is that called again? In draft. Basically, whenever it enters the battlefield, you can sack a token. The draft is full of food tokens. And when you do, you can exile target creature and opponent control until this leaves. So it's a 2 mana Brutal Cathar or 2 mana Fiend Hunter, something like that, right? So it's really, really sick in the early game or in mid to late game in a... what's that called again? In draft. Again, I think in draft, this is a different environment to play with. And then we got some random cards. We got Doomland, Krebin. No one cares. All right, we got War of the Last Alliance. Search your library for a legendary creature card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle. And then your creatures you control gain double strike until the end of turn. The ring tempts you. This This is actually a reasonable card because it's a 4-mana double tutor, right? 4-mana double tutor, I think it's not worthless. The last ability is probably worthless, but double tutors, I think I appreciate that. I've got a 4 rare. We got Lotho Corrupted Sheriff. Whenever a player casts their second spell each turn, you lose 1 life and create a treasure token. Oh, this is pointless. This is like, what is that, monologue tax? Except it's a little bit better because it's you as well, whenever a player, right? So if you want to play 2 spells every turn, you get a treasure, but you also lose. I mean, the losing 1 life probably doesn't matter too much, but you might be able to make a commander deck with this. I don't see it because it's 2 mana 2/1. 1 mana 2/1 isn't acceptable right now, so 2 mana 2/1 is just awful. All right, be the best player on the battlefield, except don't, and then play arena, except you're gonna get wrecked by people who pay a lot of money to play that game. So none of these matters. These are only cool cards, but those are just rares. Outside of the 1 ring, I don't know what else matters in this whole bundle, but luckily I got a good price on the Amazon bundle that just took a year to get here. Then we have another person who I have no idea who that is. That's totally Theoden. And then we got Planks. And then we got Orcish Medicine, and then more Medicine, and then Soothing Medicine, and then Captain of the Medicine, and then Shadowfax Medicine. Like I said, right, these cards might be, from awesome parts of the story, but they're not awesome cards. So let's just keep going so we get some cool cards. We got Olafin. All right, finally, we got our Mythic. Sort of. Anduril, Flame of the West. Equipped creature gets +3/+1. Whenever equipped creature attacks, create 2 tapped 1/1 white spirit token with flying. If that creature is legendary, instead create 2 of those. Create 2 of those tokens that are tapped and attacking. Well, the only difference is that they're attacking rather than not attacking. That's it. That's a Mythic. This is a horrible Mythic. This is one of the worst cards I've ever seen that's in the Mythic pile. If that creature is legendary, instead create 2 of those tokens that are tapped in it. Yeah, I keep thinking that this is phrasing it like you'd create 2 of the creature, the legendary creature that's attacking, but there's no way to do that because they just die. That's not what they meant. They mean create 2/1/1 spirit that's attacking. So it's a 3 mana 3/2 attacking. Legendary creates 2/1/1 white spirits that's also attacking. Absolutely horrendous Mythic. I mean, like, imagine you play that in draft, and that's reasonable. Anywhere else, this is 3 mana for 2 to equip. Oh my god, this is awful. This is the worst Mythic I've ever seen, and that's our Mythic slot of the whole bundle. So we got Saruman's Trickery. It's a counter spell, a mass orc. Who cares? It costs 3. No one's ever gonna play it. It's just cancel with an orc. Cancel with an orc. Here's the orc. All right. And this is my problem with Lord of the Rings. People keep hyping about Lord of the Rings. If it's not for the serialized card, this whole set would be probably worthless. I mean, like, there's a lot of price in the collector bundle, or not the bundle, but the collector edition. There's that 1 ring for the box toppers. Then I get that, right? The box topper has some really cool cards, but guess what? Those are all reprints, the reskins of old cards that are actually good. Did they introduce, how many good cards did they introduce that are new with Lord of the Rings? That's my problem with it. Here's a bunch of cards that no one cares about. And we got Frodo, Sauron's Bane. This is the card that gave us a promo. Here we got it again. Why? So here we go. And then we got another rare, Sauron's Ransom. Choose an opponent. They look at the top 4 card of your library and separate them into a face down pile and a face up pile. Put 1 pile into your hand and the other into their graveyard. The ring tempts you. This is just a worse version of Fact or Fiction, right? This is a 4 cards. Yeah, your opponent will look at the top 4. So I don't know. How is this a rare? It's 2 colors and it's barely any better. No. And then we got Sam's Desperate Rescue. So desperate that he's a common and he's going to go over there. Human Soldier. All right. So this whole set is about the ring tempting you, which I found to be the absolutely horrendous mechanic. Basically another venture into the dungeon, but worse because I actually like Venture into the Dungeon. And I don't like this at all because it's another book to read. We got Marco. I don't know. Mikio. Makuo. All right, so Martial's Anthem. And then we got a Forest. We got some random common cards that we don't care about. And then Theoden. And then Sauron's Trickery. Gimli's Counter of Kill. All right, finally, our rare. Elven Chorus. This is an okay card. I actually like this card. You may look at the top card of your library anytime, which is cool. And then you can cast creature spells on the top of your library, which is awesome. And then creatures you control have tap add 1 mana of any color, which is absolutely fantastic. So the first effect is good, right? I think it's way better to say that you may look at the top than the future side where it says play with the top card revealed, because your opponent can see it now. They know what you're going to do. So this is basically you have an additional card in your hand, and you can keep replenishing that card if it's a creature that you can play. So you can play the spell, right? You can cast a creature spell, which is also great. And then you can also tap your creature for mana, which in a creature heavy deck is obviously a grand effect. So this is a fantastic card. I don't think anyone is talking badly about this card. So we got one good card of the whole box, aside of the ring. And then shortcut to mushrooms. All right, so basically every Saturday night. Food, token. All right, last pack. We got one mythic that's horrendous, and then one rare that's pretty good, and an Asgore. So there's your bundle. Last pack, we got upside down. I don't know who this is. Elrond. Okay, that's Elrond. Sure. Swamp. Banish from, the Magic the Gathering. Fog on the Baron down. Friendly Rivalry, please don't rival me. And then the Grey Havens, Meldrock. All right, so finally we got a rare. Ilmer, Marshal of Rohan. Can you see it? It's kind of blurry still. Haste. Whenever one or more other attacking legendary creature you control dies. There's so many words. First of all, one or more other attacking legendary creature you control dies. Oh, how many words is that? All right, so it can't be a self, has to be attacking, has to be a legendary creature, and then when they die, untap all creature you control. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. This ability triggers once each turn. Oh my god. I don't know. There's so many things to jump through hoop just for extra combat. It's not bad. You can probably try to synergize this with something and try to get infinite with this, or just get an additional combat steps. I'm not hating on the card itself. I'm hating on the idea, because whoever thought of this card basically had zero creativity whatsoever and should not work for Magic. It should not work in card design. Extra combat. Who would have thought of that? Oh, there's a card called extra combat. Why don't we just create a counter spell that says counter target spell? It's fine. It's not that bad, but it's just not creative. And for Lord of the Rings to have something so not creative, it's painful. It's just, I don't know. This is my last rare, so I'm kind of bothered by it. And then we got Swarming Moria, and then Burning Inquiry is a cool card. Each player draw 3 cards, and then discard 3 cards at random. Cool card to play in a discard deck, because your opponent's hand will be blank, and then you can make them basically discard 3 cards. And if you got things like Waste Not, well, guess what? You're going to get a bunch of effect from that. Burning Inquiry, pretty cool card. Guess what? Not in Lord of the Rings. Designed way back. I don't even think it was M10. Maybe they had it before M10 and just reprinted it. But even if it's M10, right, that's 2010, that's a good time in Magic, where design actually mattered. And, right before they get to the Eldrazi Winter, people started crying. All right, that's the whole box set. You can see that Wizard went all out trying to design one of the best cards ever to hit Magic the Gathering. And so good that everyone wants to play in their deck, but not good enough like things like Black Lotus, where obviously it has to get banned. So they created the One Ring. The One Ring is, I've never seen a card this good before in my life. Never before in any part of design in Magic the Gathering was there a card like the One Ring, where it's so good and fair that you can't really justify banning it, but it's basically an auto-include in almost every deck. I'm just talking about EDH right now. In every deck in EDH, because it's just got that crazy card advantage effect without too much of a drawback. Really, just losing some life is not that much of a drawback. And yeah, this card is insanely good, right? So they put a lot of thought process under this one card. And then everything else is trash, apparently. It's just how I feel, because all of these cards, I don't care about almost any of these. Maybe the Elven Course, that's something that I will give. That's a cool card. And then to some extent, maybe Samwise. Everybody likes Samwise, so Samwise GMG is cool, and then his cards are also cool, but every other card is just awful. And then we got a Nazgul, which is, just another Relentless Petitioner, or whatever it's called, version. Here's 9 of them, put in your deck, and then beat people down with it. That's fine. Also, this whole box, they did not give you a token that says the ring tempts you. Maybe it's in here. I'm going to open this anyways because it's a common, or it's a land. So hopefully they have the ring tempts you, because otherwise, that's another thing that bothers me. All right, what does this say? Here is how to cast spells. Thanks. Thanks. On your turn, here's what you should be doing. Begin. All right. And then some basic lands. Yeah, not a single card that is a list of what happens when the ring tempts you, which is, it just says ring tempts you. There's a whole bundle. Nowhere does it teach you what happened when the ring tempts you. So what does that mean? The ring just tempts you and then you lose the game. Is that it? Because the ring tempting you is supposed to be a bad thing, and yet everybody wants a ring to tempt you because that's all the cards do, and then that's how you apparently win the game in Lord of the Rings with Magic the Gathering, or Magic the Gathering with Lord of the Rings. So big deal with this set. Everybody's on a hoopla about it, but really I just think if without the serialized cards, this set would have been such a big dud. And it's really unfortunate because Lord of the Rings, awesome. Everybody loves the IP, and they bastardize it just to sell money. Or just sell for money. Hopefully Commander Master will be better, but obviously it's a reprint set. Everyone's just after the reprint value. I highly recommend just going after the single cards, because a lot of single cards look enticing, but $400, $300 a box, oh geez, too much. All right, well, that's all I got for you today. Thank you for watching another card pack opening video. I know that I said I'll try to bring them back once a month. Really depends on the release schedule on Wizard and how fast Amazon decide to bring my stuff. Otherwise, I can go to the local game store. But honestly, some of the prices are a little bit insane right now. And I really just want to get the cheapest I can get and hopefully not get hosed by Amazon's fake cards. All right, so here is the One Ring. That is my pack opening for this month. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time.